This is Tony Diaz. I wanted to check in with you, especially after our most recent clash with weather here in Houston, Texas. I hope folks are doing well after Beta has touched down along the Gulf Coast. I know some folks are still suffering direct damage because of that. Our hearts go out to you. Please keep us posted on how we can help. Additionally, everybody is suffering some of the ramifications of that, be it from out of electricity, having your neighborhood flooded in, to folks trying to juggle all of this chaos amidst a shutdown anyway. So we wanted to check in with you and also let you know that we want to still help create programming for our community and culture, because as we have come to find out in the past, flooding meant schools were going to be closed. That's not the case anymore. So with flooding, remote school still goes on. And for some schools, the in-person school is closed. The synchronous online school is still on. And you may or may not have internet access. With that in mind, we do want to continue to create content for teachers, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month. So a little commercial for our Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month events. They will be streamed on Facebook Live on the Nuestra Palabra website. And Nuestra Palabra is organizing the Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month experience. We've got events in every Houston City Council district to prove that every City Council district is Latino. We've got community representatives in each of those districts, and each one's going to provide a unique view of the many facets of the Latino experience here in Houston, Texas, which is really reflective of the entire country. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the footage we took at the Houston Botanical Gardens kickoff of the Latin American Gardens. We're partnering with them. Additionally, we're also going to be talking to Daniel Saenz. He is the community representative for Nuestra Palabra in District E. We'll be working with him for a great event on October 1st. And next up, on September 30th, we'll be working with Maria Segari, who is the Nuestra Palabra community representative for City Council A, not often thought of as a Latino district. That's over 50% Latino. We're going to have a great event of poetry in Spanish featuring the City Council representative for City Council A, Amy Peck, and also City Council at Large representative for position number 2, David Robinson, who speaks Spanish beautifully. And he's really been engaged, and he really wants to share some poetry in Spanish, which is fantastic. So it will be a bilingual presentation as we host it, but for that particular event, the poetry will all be in Spanish from different countries. Daniel Saenz will be joining us in a little bit. I'll give you a little preview of when it was nice and sunny there at the Botanic Gardens, a little highlights of that, including a short performance by Mariachi Puma from the University of Houston. So we hope you enjoy it. To get the full lineup, please go to nuestrapalabra.org. Please visit our Facebook page, Nuestra Palabra, Latino Writers Having Their Say. Like the page so that you get notifications when we go live. And again, there'll be small, very contained, controlled events on the ground, and the performers will feature folks from each district. Of course, because of COVID-19 precautions, we don't want people swarming the place. So next year, next time, we'll plan those huge events with hundreds and thousands of people. Right now, we want to contain those, show the talent in the district, and build the network. But then we're going to stream it Facebook Live so you can still participate. So it's open to everyone throughout the city. There'll also be content that's citywide and, of course, Texas-wide and nationwide. We hope that you'll come to see how Houston is a bastion for Latino art and culture. Also, if you can donate, go to nuestrapalabra.org. We are doing this all on Community Cultural Capital. We have no financial donations from the City of Houston, Houston Arts Alliance, Texas Commission on the Arts, National Endowment for the Arts. None of them. This is all run with the talent from our community, all of whom are professionals in some way, shape, or form, and all are bringing their community cultural capital to the table. If you can donate actual capital, please do. Go to nuestrapalabra.org and click on the donate button. We'll give you a shout out. But also, if you can participate by helping us with social media, maybe being part of the open mic, please do as well. So I'm Tony Diaz, director of Nuestra Palabra, Latino Writers Having Their Say. Happy Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month. Please enjoy this snippet from the Houston Botanic Gardens, Latin American Gardens.
Do you have anybody from Jalisco, Guadalajara? I didn't think so. I didn't recognize anybody. Everybody, Guadalajara, para todos de
Happy Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month. This is Tony Diaz. Aquí estamos, vamos a hacer una presentación bilingüe acerca de este nuevo lugar muy lindo en un día maravilloso. Este es el Jardín Botánico de Houston. This is the Houston Botanic Garden. They're having their big kickoff right now during Hispanic Heritage Month. Yesterday they had some events. Today they have some stuff going on. You can also come tomorrow at 1 o'clock. There'll be some mariachis. Now, I really want you to understand that this is a really special place. Now, we're going to have events throughout every Houston City Council district. So this is our citywide launch, our soft opening. But we ran into one of our friends who's here. Want to convince her to convince you to come out and make this part of your family experience. Porque este es un lugar que yo creo que toda la familia puede disfrutar. Pero preséntate, saluda. And what are you doing here on a Saturday? Now, I kept my mask on to follow COVID-19 protocol, so the mic is clean. Once she chats, I'll take this off so you know who I am. I am the masked speaker right now. But right now, well, say hi.
Well, hello, I'm Audrey Reed, and since we're outside, we can have our mask off, is how I feel about it, as long as we don't get too close. So I appreciate you, Tony. It's a beautiful place, people. Please come out. You will be so happy that you did. It is serene. It is special. Everywhere you look, it's like eye candy. Everywhere you look, it's just something marvelous to look at. It's beautiful. And we're in Houston. We are in Houston, and this is beautiful. We're lucky.
Was there one attraction that convinced you to come out?
Well, with it being the Hispanic Heritage program that's going on this weekend, that definitely made me want to come out. But with it being the grand opening weekend, I wanted to be here. I felt like I had to be here.
Fantastic. And before you say bye, say one thing that you saw walking through that you said, hey, this was the price of gas, getting out of my pajamas, it was coming.
You know, agave plants are just beautiful, but I passed one a moment ago that made me stop, and it just took my breath away. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just gorgeous. So yes, I am.
That's awesome. Well, wonderful to see you.
Good to see you.
And hey, stay tuned. If you go to nuestrapalabra.org, you'll find out all the events we have planned. We're gonna have a couple more out here.
Okay, sounds good.
That's on 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also every Tuesday at 90.1 FM KPFT. This week we have writer Roberto Lovato reading an excerpt from his memoir Unforgetting. And also you meet Maria Salgari. She is the Nuestra Palabra community representative for City Council A. As I mentioned earlier, Nuestra Palabra is going to have the Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating an event in every Houston City Council district, because this is what I want you to remember. This is what you have to cling to for the rest of the year. Every Houston City Council district is Latino. That should be reflected during Hispanic Heritage Month, but our art, culture, and history should be evident in all of those districts from now on. We actually now have community representatives in each of those districts. September 24th is our first event on the ground. Our Houston Community Representative for District City Council E is Daniel Saenz. He's organizing an event in that district along with the co-host, Mayor Pro Tem Dave Martin. He'll be joining him. We've got some community leaders like Judge Locayo, who's a really young judge, and I'm used to just calling him by his first name, but he just got elected recently, so he's Judge Locayo. And then Yvette Mayo will be one of the community representatives as well, as also Magnolia Grown. He lives in that district. I point this out because just like maybe you won't put this garden on your radar, not everybody imagines City Council E as a Latino district. It's actually over 40% Latino. Now, one thing I want to say about the numbers, and we'll talk about what's behind me, y todo lo demás que tenemos aquí, que es muy lindo. When you talk about city council districts that are Latino, typically people imagine H, so we're actually in City Council H. City Councilman Robert Gallegos is a big champion for our causes, the community, because also he's the only city council representative who's Latino out of 16. So of course, a lot of times people imagine his district, when we talk about Latino districts, his district is the largest Latino population at 76%. The second largest population for Latinos is City Council I, and I think I just mixed them up. City Council I is Robert Gallegos, and then City Council H is Carla Cisneros. So we're in City Council I right now, the Houston Botanic Garden. And then we also have the champion for our community, Carla Cisneros, who doesn't claim the Latino identity. She has some of it in her grandmother, but she respects the community so much that she doesn't want to make light of what that really means, but she's definitely a champion for everything that we do. I want to thank her. They were some of the first to sign a letter of support for this big activity. Pero la meta de estos eventos se van a llevar a cabo en cada distrito de Houston, porque típicamente la gente nada más piensa en dos locales. Piensan que nada más dos distritos son latinos. Necesitamos que ustedes sepan, cada distrito en Houston es latino. Vamos a tener un evento muy lindo. Nuestra representante en esa comunidad, distrito A, es María Sagari. Ella trabaja con poetas en Houston, Houston Poetas. Van a tener una presentación muy importante. Vamos a tener totalmente una presentación de poetas en español de varios países. También nos va a asistir el miembro del concilio, Dave Robinson, que se avienta en español super bien. He speaks Spanish really great, and he loves speaking Spanish. He's thrilled to be surrounded by Latinos, poets, writers, activists, community members. So es muy lindo porque él va a venir a disfrutar de nuestra comunidad y va a declamar poesía en español. ¿Qué piensa usted de eso? Pero esto va a ser en Distrito A el 30 de septiembre. Vamos a tener eventos por todo Houston. Es que vamos a tener más de 14 eventos y ahora tenemos representantes en cada sector. Si usted va a nuestrapalabra.org puede ver el horario completo. Hoy día estamos aquí celebrando que están lanzando este jardín muy lindo, pero claro, tienen un enfoque latino. This is the Latin American Garden. A la 1 de la tarde van a tener la Mariachi Pumas, que van a presentar su música linda, bella de nuestra cultura, pero ahorita le queremos dar un sentido de lo que hay aquí. So we're starting off, of course, at the agave section in the Latin American section. So it's a global section, plenty of different areas. So you got to come to this first. Why? Well, this used to be occupied Mexico, so I would expect these plants to do well here, right? And of course, you can see behind me some of the beautiful horticulture, right? And what I love about the way this works is that you're going to get some cool things to check out and see with your family that to me remind me of home, our family's backyards, but it's also put in the context of the role they play in the environment. Lo importante también es que el ambiente siempre ha sido importante para nuestra cultura y también todas estas matas, plantas, yo las reconozco de mi juventud. Las tenemos en medicina, las tenemos en comida. And of course, with agave, it's also in tequila and mezcal. So I do want to make a plug here for all the guys who are watching by chance, okay? Los vatos, los hombres, los machos. Totally a place to come. Right, Rodrigo? This is a place for guys, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Right? Well, esa cultura, there's mariachis today, and with the agave, like, I'll tell you, I'm going to bond with you if you're watching. I gave up alcohol for this year. That was one of my resolutions for the year. However, for you, I'm willing to take a shot of tequila to really dive into the agave and the cactus plants, which they come from, because it's cultural. And I'm willing to let my resolution go for you. Maybe we're going to go around and see where the tobacco plants and roll some cigars down. And looking down the line, I'm really proud to be on the Latino Advisory Committee for the Houston Botanic Garden. They've been very open to our ideas, coming up with new programming. This is an introduction. So today they're going to show some presentations with Adan Medrano, who's going to tell you how some of these plants are part of spices, fundamental parts of Texas Mexican cooking, which he makes a big difference between Tex-Mex cooking, which he thinks of as a commercial kind of a slogan, and authentic Texas Mexican cuisine, which we're looking at right now. So you'll see a presentation from him. Also, Dr. Rodriguez, she'll be talking about the prickly pear, which is a national plant. She'll be joining us in City Council K with Vice Pro Tem Mayor Tatum that talk about that as well on that night. If you go to nuestrapalabra.org, you'll see all of those. También les quiero que sepan que, claro, no estamos vestidos. I got a guayabera on, right? So guayaberas are built for this heat right now, but it is a dressy guayabera. So I want you to see the cufflinks, of course. And well, thank you so much. And you got the Spurs hat. That's very sharp. That's very sharp. And we're keeping it raza. The cufflinks are actually from Mexico, okay? So San Miguel de Allende,
Guanajuato.
Guanajuato, en la casa, presente, y Jalisco con la tequila. Shout out to Houston. So got the shit from Luchos. Thank you, Luchos. They make this cool guayabera, but they dress it up. You can wear it to a wedding or to the Houston Botanic Gardens. But the whole issue is that we wear our culture on our sleeves, on our hearts, on our backs, in our souls, and here we are celebrating it under our noses, unleash for everyone to enjoy. You see some of the people walking around, really taking it in. We're across the street from Raza. It's right there in the community, right? Used to be a golf course. It's on the way to Hobby Airport. You know, give the street shout outs, because these are Raza streets. What streets do you take to get here?
We're right here on the Park Place, Broadway Boulevard, right here in the Gulf Gate area, southeast Houston. And yeah, this is it's growing up, you know. But like you said, Tony, this is pura raza. One of my favorite restaurants is right down the street, Aguascalientes and Del Mexico.
Shout out to Aguascalientes.
Yeah, the gorditas there are amazing over there. So.
Well, we're gonna have to test that theory afterward, because I got a few of my favorites.
All right.
Vamos a ver cuál gana. But that really is important. It's right near our homes, our communities. It's our culture, but it blends in with everything else, because you're going to see we have a lot in common with other cultures that also use some of these plants in their food and in their medicines. Y claro, tenemos una legacía de curandismo. También yo cuando era niño me acordaba que mi mamá me curaba primeramente con la sábila, hierbabuena, right? All of these different herbs, medicines, ¿verdad? Que ella tenía fe en y nos curaban naturalmente, y aquí están. There'll be classes about that throughout the year. We tried to get some Aztec danzantes. Didn't quite work out this time around, especially with the COVID-19 restrictions, which are very real. But in the future, we're going to bring some Aztec danzantes to talk about not just the horticulture and its role in food and medicine, but also in ritual and the whole legacy of the Mexica. Another shout out to our Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month events. Again, if you go to nuestrapalabra.org, you're going to see that in City Council B, okay, Juanita Son is going to have a brilliant presentation in City Council B, which is over 50% Latino, on the Guatemalan culture and folklore, which is going to be really, really cool. You look at the full lineup, we're talking about Afro-Latino culture, the Jewish Latino experience in English, Spanish, and Spanglish. But to me, that's what this place represents, in that we have some sections, but you know the plants cross the border of the sections all the time. Right? So it all really blends in, and what's really wonderful is that you can come and bring your family here and just have a great time, get to meet other people, and really understand our culture more profoundly, and really check out their website because they have a lot of different classes that are coming up. Yo creo que también ellos quieren que nuestra comunidad venga, disfruta, y cualquier idea que usted tenga, si ve una mata o si hay falta de una mata o algo, ¿por qué no nos dice o nos manda un mensaje a nosotros? Yo estoy en la mesa concejal del Houston Botanic Garden y también aquí estamos para servir, so all of you can enjoy. Again, this is the kickoff of our Ultimate Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. If you go to nuestrapalabra.org, we are planning an event for every Houston City Council district because every Houston City Council district is Latino.